Merry Christmas. Back to normal now, although it is still Christmas. Wow, I had to reboot. Things weren't working for some unknown reason. I must have been hacked. Yes, that's right. Somebody must have hacked my computer. It couldn't just be that the computer's old. So did you guys have a good Christmas or what? What's going on? Hello. Did you guys get some good gifts or what? Or did you get like stockings? Well, I like stockings, Gray. Oh, come on. Wouldn't you like some jewelry better? Yeah, I had a pretty good one. Got some good, got one of those, I don't know, like that Amazon crap where you can like talk to it and it runs everything. I have a feeling it's going to get me in trouble somehow. I'll say something to it and it'll do all kinds of weird shit live. Yeah, my wife always sneaks in a gift or two that is a little bit more of a gift for both of us. Yeah, I think one of those Alexas, right? Yeah. But then we also got one of those doorbell cameras. Guys, is a gift for me. And then, yeah, some other stuff as well. My Blazers got their ass kicked again by Utah. No, I'm not drinking vodka by the bottle. It's called grape Gatorade. But as you might be, though, I wouldn't doubt it. Hey, thanks, Cindy Jacobs. Trying to figure something out here. Hold on. Okay. Yeah. All right. I know it's just dead quiet because I'm trying to get some shit figured out. Like when you have to reboot your computer, there's all kinds of stuff that you normally have open that's not open. And if it's not open, like I got to get Google Earth open over here. Okay. What have you got? Who got the best gift out there? Okay. Anybody get a gift like the gift of the Magi? You know, where somebody sacrificed to get you a gift, and then you also sacrificed to get a gift, but the gifts sort of cancel each other out. Anything like that? Yeah. Apparently not. Apparently not. Whoa! Wait, hold on. So that one still has the snow shit. You know what I figured out is, remember last night when I had the snow going? Like it is right now on the screen? And now it's not? There's audio with that, but I can't hear it. So you guys were saying, hey, turn down the music, and I was like, what are you talking about? I barely have any Christmas music even playing. And it turns out it had some weird Gregorian chant shit going on. So when I heard it today, I was like, whoa. Now listen, I know a lot of you guys were chatting last night, okay? But I need you to hear, there was a couple funny moments last night, okay? And when you guys are chatting, you're probably not hearing the let's see, where is it? Okay, right in here. Let me turn this down. So you got to actually hear what I'm saying here. It's a funny moment. Because everybody, I think everybody was chatting. I was looking at the comments while I was doing this. And nobody... Now, maybe it was only funny to me, but when I was watching it today, I was literally... Or even last night after the show, I was watching it as if it wasn't me. And I was laughing. Can you guys hear me at all, by the way? I'm just checking. Like, say yes. Okay, you can. Okay.
Ruth Bader Ginsburg.
The name you know.
Discrimination on the basis of sex.
Anybody, right? But all right, I think it's right on in here.
My name is Nico.
Let's see. Jim Medding.
Oh God.
See, I inhaled some water. Now you guys got to listen to this. I mean, the way I sounded, it sounded like I just learned that you're not supposed to inhale it. I didn't realize the music was that loud. Jeez. I inhaled some liquid again, like I seem to always do.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, that's... Ooh.
Yeah, you're supposed to swallow liquid. I've learned that over time. You're supposed to swallow liquid. I've learned that over time. So, like, must have been a while. Like, there must have been a time in my life where I hadn't learned that I'm supposed to swallow it, right? I just breathe it in, and then over time... Come on, man! That's some funny shit right there. Look, just listen to that again. This whole thing, and then I go into the thing about how it's I've got my genetics are part fish. Here, look.
So how is everybody?
No, I have not done voiceover or talk radio, Heather. I have not done that.
Probably a little bit of a delay on here, so...
I guess they're saying the music's too loud. I didn't think the music was loud. Yeah, one more time.
Really?
There's that weird music I didn't know was playing. I think it's low. I didn't realize the music was that loud. Jeez. I inhaled some liquid again, like I seem to always do.
Oh, don't do that. Oh, that's... Ooh.
Yeah, you're supposed to swallow liquid. I've learned that over time. You're not supposed to breathe it in. It's weird. I think it's like my fish ancestry takes over sometimes.
Which one?
Yeah, I take a drink and I just inhale it. Like, oh yeah, I'm a fish. Oh shit, I'm not. So it's weird.
I guess.
Come on, man. That was pretty good. Anyways. Yeah, I don't know why that's so damn funny to me, but it just is. I think it was what I was thinking was it was my deadpan delivery. As if I really just came to realize over time in my life that you're supposed to swallow liquid. And then I said, yeah, you know, you're actually supposed to, you know, not breathe it. That's weird. Like that's actually a weird concept to me, right? Yeah, but Jim got it, so we'll give Jim some credit for that. Thank you, Jim. Jim laughed at the time. Not the first part, though. That just slid under there. I actually didn't even realize it till I watched it later. Yeah, I was in a snow globe. That's right. A little bit of a snow globe. All right. So, hell, let's just get to the story here. Why not? A few different people have sent me this over the last few days, and it just seems really weird. I haven't really dived into it that much, so maybe we can figure out what we can and then see what's going on here. So South Dakota mom dies during trip to North Carolina. Foul play suspected. That's kind of funny when they use the word suspected when you read what we're about to say. Investigators suspect foul play involved in the death of Sioux Falls mother who was driving to North Carolina. But most of the details of the 40-year-old Melissa Peskey's death are a mystery. Melissa Peskey and her two children, 5-year-old Axton and 11-year-old Carrlee, were in a car crash in Missouri sometime between Thursday night and early last Friday morning, December 14th. Over a week ago, someone shot and killed Melissa Peskey in front of her children. Investigators say she was in the driver's seat and the shooter was outside the vehicle, which was also involved in a crash. So her car crashed and she was shot from outside the vehicle. And when they say suspect foul play, that's what I mean. Why not just say there was foul play? What other freaking, there's no other option. Let's see. The incident happened along Interstate 70 in central Missouri. The Missouri State Highway Patrol first tweeted on December 19th about the mystery of Peskey's death. So that's not too long ago. Let's see. Interstate 70 in central Missouri. So we can at least just put like a placeholder in the general area. All right. So that's Interstate 70 right there. So let's just put something in there for now. Let's see. I'll name the folder after her, obviously. Put that in there. Alright. Okay. Now we'll put a pin just sort of in general in this area, right? Alright. Melissa Peskey and... let's see, we're already down here. The children survived the crash and shooting incident. The crash happened by Boonville, which is between Kansas City and St. Louis. So you'd think that, I mean, look at that. 5-year-old and 11-year-old. So they should have almost an exact time, right? I mean, these kids were in the car and then their mother got shot and killed. I mean, that's just absolutely horrific. And when they were found, they were still in the car, alive, the kids, and then, so they should be able to say, so when was this, like last night, or, get a better idea. The children survived the crash and shooting incident. The crash happened by Boonville. Okay, so now let's type that in, and then go to I-70 by Boonville. All right, so now let's go there. Alright, so here we go, and that's I-70, and this is Boonville. So now we're even closer. So I'm going to take this over here, that's I-70, and then slide it over to this area. So now we're narrowing it down to the precise location. Alright. Do you guys like it better when I have my little tiny face at least up when I'm doing this stuff, or or is that too much? I guess I don't know if I like it because, I can't pick my nose or anything like that. So. Authorities from Missouri plan to be in South Dakota Friday to interview friends of Melissa Peskey as part of the investigation. Husband Ryan Peskey told KCLO TV News that Melissa was on her way to North Carolina to visit friends when the incident happened. I mean, was this just some kind of random sniper shot through the windshield? I mean, look, I haven't read through this yet, so. KCLO interviewed Melissa and Ryan Peskey in June of 2014 about their daughter Charlee and son Axton, who were cared for at Sanford Children's. The couple talked about how Carrlee was born prematurely, weighing 1 pound 6 ounces. She was the size of a pop can. Our rings went over her wrist, Ryan Peskey said in June of 2014. So these are people that have been in the media prior. Melissa spoke about her miracle baby and the love she had for the family. I thank God every single day for our family. We have been through such crazy obstacles, and I think it's brought us closer. Let's see. Brian Peskey is also a massage therapist at a South Dakota National Guard and a National Guards member. Brian Peskey told KCLO that he is a person of interest because he didn't answer the phone Friday night at 11 p.m. when authorities called him to inform him of his wife, a 14-year-old. When authorities called him to inform him his wife of 14 years was dead. So what were they saying up here about Thursday? Hold on, let me. We're in the car crash, Missouri, sometime between Thursday night and Friday morning. And then he didn't answer his phone Friday night, so they're suspicious. I mean, it's more suspicious that you guys waited so long to call him. That's a little bit weird. But like every other case, the husband or boyfriend sometimes, you know, are usually the number one suspect. Although this seems odd because they were so far out of town, and then a bullet from the outside came in and hit her. Let's see. He says he was sleeping and did answer the phone and didn't answer the. Let's see. He says he was sleeping and did answer the phone until later. I think that was supposed to be didn't. Ryan said Tuesday he did not know his wife's cause of death. The couple's 2 children are in foster care in Missouri. Ryan said he will go before a judge Wednesday to ask to bring them home. Yeah, I mean, why didn't they bring them home to him? I mean, why would they be in foster care and not just given to him immediately? Yeah, it's hard to know. I mean, right now, the kids should know, right? I mean, why the 11, unless they were sleeping while she was driving, the 11-year-old should easily be able to tell the police, oh God, we were just driving and then we crashed, so a bullet came through the window or something, you know, like, or we stopped and somebody came up to the car and shot her. I mean, you'd think you'd have that kind of information. South Dakota mom 40 found dead. This is a new article. Crash scene was shot. At crash scene was shot. Authorities say 2 children survived. The death, let's see. I mean, I don't know how old, like, I don't know if there's any, like, absolutely recent articles. See, this one's even 5 days ago. This one is 4 days ago. Does anybody have one from, like, today? But I'll go through these anyways. The death of a driver whose vehicle crashed along Interstate 70 in Missouri last week is being investigated as a homicide. Authorities said this week because the 40-year-old mother of 2 died from a gunshot from outside the vehicle, not the impact of the crash. Well, I think it's pretty obvious that the crash was caused by her being shot, right? Although, I guess you could say, well, we don't know. Maybe somebody sort of forced her off the road, she crashed, they got out of the car, shot her, and then drove off, and it was late at night. So think about that possibility. Let's say it's, and that's why they're saying we don't know if it was late Thursday or early Friday morning, because maybe this they were found maybe at 1 in the morning, but you know, maybe the incident occurred at 11:30 Thursday night. So let's say that she was driving and somebody was following her from way back. Then they picked a segment of road at a time where there weren't really a lot of people on it, and they sort of forced her off the road and she crashed. Then they get out of their vehicle, shoot her through the window, get in their car and drive away. I mean, I guess that's a possibility, like a hit of some sort. Yeah, it could have been road rage. Yep, okay, forget it. Let's not even discuss it then. Look, the odds of it being road rage are 1 in a million. Okay, so let's move on to something else. You know, you got some lady driving way late at night, and somebody gets so angry that they pull somebody over and blow her brains out. Right? Yeah, that's. Yeah. Well, that's different than. Anyways, yeah. I mean, I guess that's possible. Facts are. But see, your username doesn't. You're not really working with that. You're sort of doing some wild speculation. You know, like that's speculating on speculation. We're just trying to do the initial speculation where, you know, come up with some reasonable reasons. Yours is a little out there. I gotta be honest there. Yeah, well, it's weird that there isn't more information at this point, because the 11-year-old would actually should know what happened, right? Don't you guys agree with that? Unless they're just so in shock that they can't remember anything. Peskey's husband Ryan, a member of South Dakota National Guard, who recently returned from a deployment in Afghanistan. So you can start thinking, you know, now come up with some weird, you know, when she was away, when he was away, what was going on there. Told a reporter with KELO TV in Sioux Falls, the authorities said he was a person of interest in connection with the case because he didn't answer the phone when authorities called to tell him his wife was dead. But as the other article stated, you said he called on Friday. That he was called Friday evening. But then earlier in the article you said maybe the incident occurred Thursday night to Friday morning. So why did you wait so long to call him? Maybe he would have been home. You should have called him right when he got to his car, or her car. That's when you should have called. Then you could say, well, shit, he didn't even answer his phone then. That would be more suspicious. But just randomly calling him a day later, in the evening, doesn't seem like that great of a like, whoa, he's a person of interest because he didn't answer his phone. Merry Christmas. Lillian Plummer. Yeah, I mean, I guess right now there's a whole bunch of different possibilities. You know, even the one that fax guy said. But what he said is like where you go, like when you're sort of running out. Okay, she rammed into somebody, then that guy got out of the car and got out and shot her in the head and then drove away. I don't know. That just doesn't sound reasonable. I mean, I know what road rage is, and that just doesn't sound. This doesn't seem like it to me. So doesn't mean it's the facts, right? The crash occurred late December 13th in Boonville, Missouri. Fox 2 of St. Louis reported. Peskey's body was found in the driver's seat around 10:30 p.m. Okay. 10:30 p.m. on the 13th. So what day of the... Let's see, what day is that? See, that's Thursday. So why do you say early Friday then? See how confusing this is? Look at this. They said she was found in the driver's seat around 10:30 p.m. on the 13th. And then the other article says, well, she either died... I mean, the incident occurred late Thursday or early Friday morning. Well, how could that possibly be? They were found on Thursday night. So this probably happened just prior to this, like between 9 and 10:30, I would say. Investigators say they have received more than 60 leads in connection with the case. It remained unclear whether the woman was targeted or the victim of a random attack. So I guess the random attack would fit into the, someone just shooting her. Maybe you get these crazy cases like Malvo. You remember that nut job and these sniper shots that come in? Could be that. I guess you might have to throw the road rage part in there, but I just think it's so unlikely. It just seems so weird that, oh, you ran into me, so I'm going to get out of my car and I'm going to shoot you. And even though you have kids and things like that, I'm just going to blow your brains out. I don't know. And it's a woman, too. Well, we don't know. I mean, it doesn't sound like she was outside of her vehicle. I think they would have mentioned that in the article if she was standing outside. Currently, there is not any evidence nor an indication that the public is in danger. This is the type of vehicle. Right there. And they're saying they're not looking for that car, but that's an example of what it looked like. And if you remember seeing that, contact us. All right. So what was there was a link somebody put up there earlier. Lynn, let's see what she had there. Alright, so this is the 19th as well, so 5 days ago. Okay, now this does say Jim right here. Right here it says, investigators say Peskey was shot by a gun... oh, wait, no. Okay, it doesn't say that. It was shot by a gun outside of her car, so when you read that, that means she was inside the car, right? Why would they say from outside if she was outside too? They would say she was shot while standing outside of her car. But if they say she was shot from a gun from outside of her car, that means she's in the car. You see, just inferring from that sentence. So she definitely was sitting inside the car. Now let's see what the video says.
Peskey was found in her vehicle after a crash on Interstate 70 near Boonville on Thursday night. Investigators say Peskey was shot by a gun from outside of her car. Her 2 children were with her, but they were not hurt in the resulting crash. KSFY News reporter Ricardo Lewis spent some time with some of Melissa's friends earlier today. Ricardo.
Brian, Melissa Peskey was a mother of 2. They were said to be 3 peas in a pod. I talked with 3 of her friends today to remember Melissa for the kind and loving woman she was.
Melissa, she was pure sunshine. She was such a genuine, caring person, and she was and is the epitome of what a mother should be.
Melissa Peskey is being remembered by her friends following the news of her death. They all just saw her a week before she was killed.
We were devastated when we heard that we lost Melissa.
Disbelief. I think none of us could believe it.
All 3 of Melissa's friends met her through the Children's Miracle Network.
Her daughter Charlee was born weighing 1 pound 6.5 ounces, so she spent a lot of time in the Sanford NICU.
Even though that was years ago, Melissa still went to every CMN event. They say Melissa was the best mom.
When I think of Melissa, it makes me want to be a better mom.
This is KSFY.
Just knowing how much she loved her kids and how much they loved her is just something that's really inspiring. Melissa was you think about when you're in big rooms of people, she was like the brightest light of everybody.
Melissa always greeted everyone in the most positive way and ended conversations with "I love you."
I think everyone that met her knows just how positive and compassionate and genuine she was in everything that she did. So I just want that. We want that to be how she's remembered.
And there are some things that can be held on to forever.
I'll never forget the hug that she gave me that day. It's something that I'll cherish forever. She left ripples wherever she went, meaning that every person that she touched, she gave something to them, and it's something that that person then can share on to the next person.
Melissa's friends tell me they want to do whatever they can to remember Melissa in the most positive way they can. Brian?
The Missouri...
Yeah, let's see what Oxygen has an article on it. There's a little bit later, the 21st, so perhaps there's more information in there. Alright. What initially may have appeared as a deadly car crash on a Missouri interstate involving a mother of two is now being investigated as a homicide after police discovered the victim had been shot. Melissa Peskey, 40, and her two children, ages 5 and 11, were in a single car crash on Interstate 70 last week in Boonville. But further investigation, including an autopsy, indicate that the victim died of a gunshot wound from a weapon fired from outside the vehicle. Sergeant Scott White, Public Information and Education Officer. I'd like to know if there's a bullet hole through the windshield or part of the car, or could it have been that, you know, if it came through an open window, that means maybe she did get in the accident first and then somebody came up and shot her, you know. Who knows? Peskey was found dead in the driver's seat. There you go, Jim. Driver's seat of the car, but the children survived and are now in foster care. Investigators have received more than 65 leads in connection with the mysterious shooting. White told Oxygen.com, even though nobody is in custody, there is not any evidence nor any indication that the public is in danger at this point, White told Oxygen.com. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is asking for help tracking down Peskey's killer. Ryan Peskey, Melissa's husband, told KELO TV in Sioux Falls that he is being considered a person of interest in his wife's death. He said that his family was en route from South Dakota to North Carolina to visit friends. The husband claims that he is being considered a person of interest because he was sleeping at the time of the crash and didn't answer the phone. Okay, see, now that does make him more suspicious, because now we know that the 10:30 time when the police came upon the crash, they tried calling him and he did not answer his phone. Okay, it isn't a day later. You know, there's some misinformation in some of these articles. That means they tried calling him, oh, and now he claims he's sleeping. Okay, now we're gonna throw in the something like that. It's too coincidental. You know, 11:30 at night when they call him, that's not that late. And of course he's going to say, yeah, I was sleeping. It's just, you could have something there. Oh, what did Lynn say? Right. Yeah, that's what I said earlier. I think that the gunshot is what caused the crash. That's what I said. Well, you know, that's my opinion. Right, that's what I said. Maybe, but the kids must not have seen the shooter. See, that's what's so weird about it, is that's what makes you kind of think that it couldn't have been road rage, because the kid, you know, one of the kids in the car would have said, oh yeah, wow, you know, we got in a wreck and then somebody from the car up in front got out and shot our mom and they took off. But it almost seems like the kids aren't even aware of what happened or anything. Almost like the shot came from a distance of some kind. Now, interestingly, her husband is a military person with probably a good shot. Could it be that he knew what route she was going to be on and kind of knew where she was? Maybe he talked and said, hey, where are you at? Where are you? And then he positioned himself in some location and did a shot. I mean, I don't know. That sounds a little, you know, like less odds than something else. But he is a military person, and they know how to shoot, right? Yeah, so maybe possibly took a position somewhere on a road, isolated, and then just took a shot right through the windshield on it. And as long as you get it straight in line with the road, it's kind of an easy shot, because you just line it up with the windshield, and the car is coming. It's not moving. It's not moving perpendicular to the sight. It's moving right at it. So that's something you might consider, right? I don't think the father was in the car, right? Because if the father was in the car, the kids would have known that the father was in the car. So the shot came from outside the car, they said. Yeah, I'm pretty suspicious of him, yeah. Yeah. Well, I don't think he'd be that stupid to use a gun that is traced back to himself. That'd be really dumb. We would say that was a little bit Watsy on this channel. Alright, so if you guys haven't liked the video yet, make sure to do so. My stomach's just growling all over the place.
I'm fired out of it, 10 down,
Hit the
15,
like button,
on the line, hit the like button, 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 30, I'm 30, I'm 30, 25, hit a 30. You want to put 30, sir, 25 of them, you're out. I'm at a 25, at a 30,
hit the like button, hit the like button. Yeah, and if you haven't subscribed and you're here, make sure you do so, and make sure you hit the notification bell. That way, when we do shows, you can follow along and get all of the factual information that you can to then speculate reasonably instead of just wildly jumping in right away. I'm sure there are some people right now saying this is a false flag operation with perhaps the Illuminati and Freemasons putting themselves on a bridge high above, trying to create a scenario where, you know, guns will be outlawed. We don't go that way on this channel, okay? White, however, told Oxygen.com that law enforcement officials are not prepared to discuss any potential suspects, witnesses, or other leads. So, did somebody post a Facebook page or something up there? I think we need more. I need a crime scene shot, like the location of it. And then we can find out exactly where this was. I mean, let's take a look at Street View anyways, just to kind of get a feel of what we're talking about here. See, this might be a perfect location too. So they're saying on I-70 in this town. Now look. You know, you get here late at night, and there's an overpass up there, right? Oh man, this is. Let me go up here. And I don't know which way she was driving at this point. I can go check because we know where she was going. But let's say you're positioned right up on top of this overpass, right? And you're driving, and then boom, like right where that car is up there. You park there, and look at that. There's even a. Looks like there's a police car right there waiting to. I don't know if that's a cop or. It does sort of look like that though, but one of those undercover types. But right up here, if you just sight the gun right down the road, it's really easy. You can just barely move the gun and get it really stable, and then right through the windshield, something like that. But we don't know that yet either. Was there a shot through the windshield? That would tell you something. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. I'd really like to know the exact location, so if anybody has a link to any sort of images of any kind, or maybe there's a Facebook page that has more information. This is the town that it was in, however. You can hear my wife in the kitchen crunching things. Yeah. Now she's laughing at me. She knows that if you just touch anything, it sounds like an avalanche. I can't remember the name of this town. Boonville, that's right. Boonville. Let me... Okay, so let's see where she was heading again. Single car crash, Interstate 5. Further investigation, including an autopsy. Let's go back to that first one where it had that information. Let's see. A week ago, someone shot and killed Melissa Peskey. The incident happened along... Well, that's weird. Over a week ago. But it says okay, the 13th, that's right. Over a week ago, someone shot and killed Peskey in front of her children. The incident happened along Interstate 70 in central Missouri. The children survived the crash and shooting. The crash happened by Boonville, which is between Kansas City and St. Louis. Authorities from Missouri planned in B South. God, look at that. From Missouri, planned in B South Carolina Friday. How about 2B? Man, is this the Daily Mail here? You know what? That's what we should do, though. Even though I just made fun of the Daily Mail, let's take this and type in and look at Daily Mail, because they usually get images that people don't have. All right. Yeah, so you notice how they have all these different pictures that the other articles don't have. So she was from South Dakota and she was heading to... Where was she headed, by the way? Who was driving through Missouri with their 2 young children, did not die from the impact. Husband Ryan... And she's a realtor. I didn't know that. The family had been driving to North Carolina to see friends from their home in Sioux Falls. Okay. So let's see which way you would be going on that highway. All right. Sioux Falls, South Dakota. All right, so that's there. And the other location, to North Carolina. Okay. Wow, that's a long freaking drive, isn't it? Wow. Okay, so they were probably heading in this direction. So now let's go down to Boonsville again. Alright. So just based on that, I'm sure they were heading this direction, like that. Because, I mean, it's kind of a weird drive that they're on, right? Sioux Falls, they probably came down this direction and we're heading like this. So now that we know that, we know that they were heading east on I-70. So this is the look they would have had in this area right here. So again, we still need to know the location of where the... That's the Facebook? Let's see. Let's check it out. That's the GoFundMe page. Hey, alright. Thanks, Becca. Appreciate it. Okay, that's a... looks like a GoFundMe account. Is there any Facebook page like Justice For or something like that where people are posting information or anything that they know? It's a weird one though. It almost reminds you a little bit of that, the campgrounds near in California, in Malibu. You remember those? People in the tent and the bullet comes through the tent. And I guess they finally arrested that person a while ago, but pretty strange. Just so random. Yeah, maybe we can check out this guy on Facebook, see what happens. Yeah, this is probably him right here. It says Ryan Peskey, South Dakota, and he's National Guard member. How could that not be him right there? Well, here's one way to tell. And there she is. That's his wife right there. So definitely that's him. Hey Jim, you've been told. Who told you that? Let me see the article that says that. See, I can't just go when somebody says I've been told. I gotta have the direct information. Okay, well, Kit Kat, get the information and send me a link that shows that information. Right? Yeah. So send that link to this address right here. Alright? And then we'll go check it out. If I can see that it's in an article and that somebody knows, then I'll do it. Anyways, here's the husband right here. Wow, Pecan Baby with a donation of $12.70. I'm wondering if that means something. Or that's...
Hope you had a good Christmas, Gray, and all you freaks in the chat room too.
Hey, thank you. It's probably the conversion or something like that. Yeah, she's like in the middle of nowhere at this point. That would take some planning, but if you kind of knew, you know, it takes a while. I'm sure they had to stop in different locations, and as long as you know where they are at, you know, you're communicating with them, or maybe even have one of those GPS things that like sometimes families have, so that you know where different cell phones are located. Apps on your phone. I mean, there's actually ones that you use on purpose, not nefarious reasons. Alright, so did you send me the information that shows mile marker 96? Yeah, I don't... Yeah, the remembering pages, things like that aren't really useful a lot of times. I mean, if you want to go there and, you know, lament, I guess. The thing is I like to try to figure things out. Well, and I guess Joanne... Well, I don't know if that's maybe the same person. I don't want to say their full name on there. But somebody donated on PayPal. Right. So give me the link that shows it's grayhughes2@gmail.com, and then we'll go to that mile marker once I see it. I don't see the link there, Stephanie. You just said, here is mile marker 96 link, and then you didn't put the link. Okay, so right here, you're saying this has the mile marker 96 link. Okay, where does it say mile marker 96 in there? That's her Facebook page, her remembering, right? Is this it right here? This, Jesus. Hey, thank you, Jennifer Van Hughes. Van Hughes? Is that Van Hughes? I mean, how do you pronounce that?
Merry Christmas, Gray.
Yeah, I don't see it, what you're referring to when you say mile marker 96. I need some more specific help on that. Yeah, let's see. Lynn just linked it. Yeah, don't see it. Oh, right there. Right, I was just on that. Where on here does it say... I typed in the search for 96. Like that. 96 doesn't show up. Is it in the video on the... on this? Is it in the video? Thanks, Kit Kat. Yeah, that's what I was looking at. Is the link in... Does it say mile marker 96 in the video or in the article? Okay. That's all you have to say is play the video in that link, Ray, and then we'd save a lot of time. Because I don't know where you're referring to. Hey, look at that little alien creature.
Just sent the email.
Okay, well, we got it now. So
Kate's worked for me for 5.5 years, and she's never taken a vacation.
I don't take very many vacations myself, unfortunately. Yeah, we don't know the answers to that question. But I bet they weren't in the car that long. It sounds like they were discovered shortly after this incident. But the kids would know a lot. They would have the answer. Okay, let me...
Interstate 70 investigating after... The Highway Patrol is investigating after a South Dakota woman was shot while driving on Interstate 70 in Cooper County.
KRCG 13's Megan Sanchez pieces together what we know from South Dakota and Missouri about this mother of two and how she died.
A realtor, wife, and mom of 2 children found dead near the 96-mile marker of I-70 in Cooper.
There we go. Finally, something. All right. So what's crazy is you can't really figure it out. A lot of times they don't tell you on here, but watch this. You can go on to Street View here, and usually on the side of the road. So this is 103, so that's usually means mile marker. Let's see, that looks like a mile marker right there, right? So this is mile marker That's mile 103. Now, it's mile marker 96. Now, I don't know if it's what direction. However, what we can do from here is take about a mile from that location. Maybe just go like that. Then you'll be pretty close to another mile marker. And then you can easily narrow it down. I just got to know what direction it is. And no, I won't be watching what you're saying, so. I'll play the video 5 more seconds in a little bit. I just want to find the location. Okay, so that was 104. 103 was the other way, right? So it's this way. So now we know this is 104. And it's 96, right? So right underneath that 70 sign there. Actually, I think mile marker 96 is going to be like way out here. Ah, God, I was right on one. Shoot. $98. All right, 2 miles this way then. All right, here we go. Ah, it's 97. 1 more mile this way. All right, we're almost there. Yes, hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button if you want to get the facts. If not, listen to conspiracy theory wackos. All right, let's see if I can get to the get to that spot. I think this is it right here. Wow, how could that say mile 97 again? Did we just do a time warp right there? I think we just went through a time warp because there was 2 97s in a row there that weren't even close to each other. Did you guys see that? There was a 97 before and then that was crazy right there. I think I see another one right down there though. Or is that one right there? Hold on. There we go, right there. Mile marker 96. Okay, got that one in there. So they're not near an overpass or anything like that. Well, Gray, in the military, they're trained to shoot up to 1.5 miles, so why don't you go look at that? Come on. All right, there we go. I'm going to keep playing.
Cooper County, Missouri. 40-year-old Melissa Peskey was from Sioux Falls, South Dakota. The Missouri State Highway Patrol is working to get answers.
Well, that's our main responsibility is to serve the family and get a fact-based conclusion to this case.
Sergeant Scott White says troopers already have followed up on 30 leads in the case and more are coming in. This started with a car crash last Thursday. When troopers arrived, they found Peskey dead behind the wheel. Her 2 children, ages 5 and 11, were with her and uninjured. The autopsy revealed a gunshot wound, not the crash, killed her. A gunshot from a weapon fired outside the car.
So I wonder if this is literally the location or just B-roll footage. Let's see if we can see this. Alright. So there is that little road on the side there, so I think that is pretty close to what they're saying. So a car crash, though. A single vehicle crash. Now, like, maybe it's on right in here, too, or it could be on this side. We don't know, but I think that road right there, and then how it rises, if you go back to that picture, I think, see that, how it starts rising right there? So I think that's the same spot, but we don't know for sure if they're right where the vehicle was, right? Because the vehicle probably wasn't still sitting there. And when they say near mile marker 96, I mean, hell, it could be here, right? I mean, we don't know for sure. Unless we see a crime scene photo of the vehicle, we're not going to know for absolute sure. But what we do know here is that the nearest overpass is way over here. So let's get a measurement of that. That's just 1.3 miles, so that's definitely, you can throw that out. Jeez, that's a total head scratcher right there, isn't it? I mean, what are the kids saying? You know, I mean, they were with these foster parents. Maybe they were kind of foster parents that these type of children get sent to kind of bring out information on their own time, like specially trained foster parents to get information. It just seems really weird. Oh yeah, they're with foster parents right away. It could have been that, hey, we're not gonna, you know, let's put them with some specially trained people. I mean, one of the kids is 11, right? And if one of the kids is 11 and the other one's 5, you'd think that they'd be able to say something. Yeah, definitely, you know, the ballistics, like Quinn was saying, that'll, you know, at least I'll be able to know what type of gun it was, where it came through the window, that kind of thing. If it came through the window. See, we don't know that, but they said it definitely came from outside the vehicle. And I guess the only way that they would know that for sure is, well, there's a few reasons, because inside the vehicle there'd be stippling or some gunshot residue on anything inside that car. But if a bullet came from the outside the car, there'd be virtually none. It'd just be the bullet hitting the person. There wouldn't be any gunpowder or anything like that on anybody. So that's one way they could tell. Also, they could tell that there's a bullet hole in a window, for example. Then you know it came from the outside. Yeah, well, you can feel like it's road rage, but there's absolutely no evidence of that at all. So let's see. I always think it's funny on social media. People always type in, "I still feel like this. I still this and I still that." I was trying to figure out what that means. Using that word "still." Like nothing convinced you otherwise. Yeah. I see some, I do think it is odd now that when they called him, the husband, at exactly right when they found the car, he was nowhere to be found. He didn't answer his phone. And you know why he wouldn't answer his phone? One of the reasons? Because if he answered the phone and it was a cell phone, it would have pinged in that area, and he didn't want that to happen. You see? And that's where it would be, you start going, okay, that's weird. No, he didn't answer his cell phone. I mean, maybe it went straight to voicemail, right? It was off. And why would it be off, you might ask yourself. Who goes to sleep? Let me ask you this. When my wife goes out of town, I have my phone, on all the time in case something bad happens. So here's this guy, right? This military guy who comes back home from deployment, and then his wife and kids go off on a trip without him. And he's going to turn off his phone just to go to sleep or something? That's insane. Nobody does that. Normal people don't do that. You really would want to have your... Yeah, you'd really want to keep your phone on so that you can listen. I mean, not listen, but to receive a call if something happened. No, little lady 58, you can have your opinion, just sell it. Sell what makes you think it's the best option right now is road rage. Okay, that's what we do on here. You don't have to not keep your opinion to yourself, or you don't have to keep your opinion to yourself. Just say what you say, but don't just say, I still feel like this. Well, give us a reason to believe what you're saying. All right, on this, you can have an opinion, but what we do here is have an opinion, and then you have to argue it. Okay, and that's how you get somewhere. You don't just sort of, yeah, hey, listen, I think aliens did it. Well, how come? It's just my opinion. I have a right to that opinion. Well, that's great. Yes, you do have the right to the opinion, and you have also the right to the scrutiny of people saying it. Yeah. Now, I will say that it is possible that it's some kind of road rage thing. I just don't think the odds are that great for it. I just want to... What's you, Brother Gray? I don't know what that means, Logic, but thanks. How's it going, man? Logic has a pretty fun little channel. It's always like kind of fun games and so forth. Up asshole. What the heck? Oh, what's up? Okay. I thought that what you... I went and checked look for a drone today. Logic. I wasn't able to... it looked like there's some pretty good deals. I think I can get like the... I want to get those VR goggles. Do you think that's worth getting? The VR goggles, and I think tomorrow I'm going to do it. But I'm trying to figure out, there's some better prices on YouTube, but I want to kind of buy right from the DJI, I think. I think those VR goggles might be pretty cool, though. What do you think? Yeah, go to Amazon. Yeah, there's better deals on there I've seen. Like, especially like the 3 battery packs, those kind of things. But I think I do want the goggles, though. So, anyways, that's what we do here. If you have an opinion, say it, and I might look at it and, wonder why you're so sure of something, and then you can explain why you're so sure of it, and then we can debate it, and maybe you can sell me on why you think it's road rage. All right? But this one is crazy. I mean, it could just be as simple as somebody just drove by, shot her, and drove away. Well, doesn't it depend, Logic, on which one you get? Because I've seen some pretty good ones out there. There's different types. I think if you get the one from DJI, it's probably pretty good, but maybe not those little secondary market ones. Yeah, I know it's kind of late. I got this one started kind of late, but I thought this one was pretty interesting. Yeah, so maybe I'll get the DJI version of it. It was like 400. It was a little bit more money. See how that goes. Not the one on Amazon, though. I mean, it is, this little section here is really quite a bit more remote on the sides than other areas. Let's see what it looks like from the sky here. Yeah, so like right in this area here, there's just this one house and this one, and other than that, there's nothing there. I mean, this would have been a good area here too, and this one, but there's not a lot of coverage. Well, good luck on that. Let us know when the movie's out. My Patreon is best. Well, Patreon is cool because people donate, like, you know, $10 a month or $5, whatever the hell, you know, whatever they can afford, and it just, I use part of that to donate to the charity each month, and then you know, just kind of as a constant support, which I could really use on here. Yeah, isn't that wild? Discerning light. I mean, the key to the case is the kids. I mean, I don't know why law enforcement, have they had a press conference on this yet? I mean, let's look for that. Let me see if I can type in their name and see if we've got a... Hey, Raven, you're speaking Greek to me there, buddy. I'm just going to go ahead and get the Mavic 2, all right, bud? Thanks. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure that drone costs a little bit more money too. Oh, 7-inch drone from Frisky Radio. Well, maybe I'll take a look at it. Huh. I actually had this on Good Morning America. Wow. You got enough ads on there? Yeah, forget it. Good Morning America. You can forget that. No, I'm not doing any of that kind of stuff. Raven, maybe someday, huh? I don't really care if it can go 10 kilometers either. I don't think I'll ever need something where I go, wow, I'm going to let my drone go 10 miles away where I can't see it, and hopefully someday I'll see it again. Yeah, I mean, I think what Audra's saying might be mildly true. I mean, I think it's sort of the foster parents are probably specialized foster parents. Yes, I'm now taking $100 donations for long-range 7-inch drone and Frisky Radio. Yeah, that's not going to happen. Huh? Cool. I quit looking after I got 1,000 what do you call it, pop-ups on Good Morning America link. That's the press
County
conference?
Sheriff's Office Investigations Division. Just give some information. We are assisting the Missouri State Highway Patrol on December 13th at around 10:30 p.m. they responded to an accident in I-70 near mile marker 96, where they discovered the body of a 40-year-old female, Melissa A. Peskey, Paul, Adam, Sam, King Edward Young, from rural Minnehaha County. Through their investigation, it was determined that the victim in this case, Melissa Peskey, died of a gunshot wound. And they have contacted us to assist just with information and other things. So if the public has any additional information or anything they would like to report, Missouri State Highway Patrol is a contact for that, and that number is 573-751-1000. Again, 573-751-1000. Any
That's
questions?
it?
There's been mention of a person of interest. Do you have any potential suspects in this?
They're in investigation, so it's an ongoing matter, so I can't discuss any of that. So.
Hey, Lynn, maybe you can check that Facebook page out and see if there's a longer version of it. You know, there's got to be a Facebook site for this South Dakota police that had the whole thing. This thing gets cut off in like a minute. Right? Or is this the longer version? Is that the same article? Or yeah, it's the same one. But usually on Facebook they have the live feeds for some of these things. Let's see, what would this be called? South Dakota Police. Let's see if we can find something like that. Maybe if I spelled South right, that would. I don't know. I don't know if there's much more to this. You'd think they'd have a lot more information about this case, though, than just what they've put out. Maybe it's really they're onto something. They really don't want to put anything out at all. I mean, those kids had to have told them something. They had to have said something. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if the kids have mentioned the father somehow, and that's even more the reason, not just him not answering that phone. That's what, and as a matter of fact, the father is the only person that's claiming that him not answering the phone is why he's a person of interest. He's the only one saying that. Could be way more than that. Yeah. They won't say where she was shot because if someone says it and is correct with reporting. Well, that doesn't mean that that's the killer, Moselle. But yeah, a lot of times they keep stuff like that private. But that doesn't mean, like, you could easily say, oh wow, she was shot in the head, and be right. You know. This isn't going to be one of those cases where they need to hide a lot of stuff, like the what the crime scene looked like kind of stuff, because it sounds like they were just shot from the outside and then that was it. However, there could be a lot more with the kids coming forward. Are you okay there, Eldon? You seem like an idiot who just shows up to channels and makes all these crazy comments with absolutely nothing to say. So we're gonna have to get you off of here. See you later. All right, thanks. Maybe next time, huh? Maybe you'll have to change your name and come back. Right. That's exactly right. That's what I was saying. Maybe the husband was following along. Something like that. The easiest shot would be from up on a bridge coming right at you. But also, if you're in a car right next to him, then boom, you just shoot right across and bam. And then you keep on driving, right? Now that would require 2 people though, right? I know, what a crazy video to have on Christmas, huh? Merry Christmas, J. Case. Merry Christmas. It is pretty bizarre. Hope it doesn't turn into those one of those weird, crazy, unsolved Maura Murray type things. Yes, we need J-Vision for mile marker 96 and just sit there on Google Earth and then wait for the husband's car to drive by. It would be incredible. All right, I'll be back in a second. Oh, Jesus. Ah! Oh, wait, hold on. Let me go wash my hands. All right. So how many people in there think it's some kind of a road rage, and it doesn't matter if you really think it's road rage. Go ahead. It could be, you know. That's what I'm saying. It could be road rage. I just think it's not very good odds. So put a 1 if you think it's road rage. I just want to see what the numbers are here. Yes, and like and subscribe. That is if you like it. Hell, even hit subscribe, and if you don't like it at the end, unsubscribe. Okay, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Road rage. 5 road rages. Alright. Now, how many people think the 6 road rages? 7. No, you can't put a maybe. You know. Nope, nope. Well, anybody can say maybe anything then. Oh, I think it's maybe aliens. Well, who knows? Look it. You got to pick one or not, right? So I'm going to, if you put 1, maybe it's still 1. Okay, that means you said it's, nobody said, hey, could it possibly be? I didn't put that as a caveat on there. Okay, great. So about 9 or 10 of you think it was road rage. Right. And how many of you think it was the husband perhaps pulling up alongside, knowing that the 11-year-old and 5-year-old are in the back seat, and then just shooting the mother in the head? Something like that. Put a 1 for that one, if you believe that one. Well, I didn't say put a 2, I said put a 1, if you think that was it. Nobody put 2s for the one above. I don't know what 2 means. I just said put a 1 if you think something. I think Potato Glam is really just absolutely believes it, so put a 5. Well, it shouldn't be confusing because it's really simple. I said put a 1 if you thought it was that one, and now we're on to a new one. Put a 1 if you think it's this one. Right, but without knowing that, what do you think it is right now? Obviously, a shot came from outside the car, and it killed her. Okay? So, knowing that, do you think somebody just got mad because she passed them, and then... Okay, how about this? Do you think that the gunshot... Here's another 1 question. Okay, so far, the husband pulling up side... You know, on the side, maybe shooting her in the head. That beat out the road rage theory. Now, how about this? Did the gunshot cause the crash? Put a 1 if you think that. So all the road rage people should say no. Okay, look at all those 1s in there. I guess you could say that the gunshot, the road rage could have been somebody angry drove by up next to them and shot. But here's the thing is, on a road rage situation like that, wouldn't they get you to pull over then do it? Because why would a passenger be that angry, right? So if they pulled up next to her car because she passed, why would the passenger be angry and shoot her? Right? It's usually the driver that got upset. Oh my, how dare you? That type of thing, right? So they would have had to pull her over and then get out. And so anybody who said that it was road rage at that point would almost have to, and I guess you could shoot through, you know, you're driving, but just think how poor of a shot you have while you're driving, shooting through a side window. You'd have to roll down the other window and then shoot through to the other car, right? Right. I think she's a target too, but I guess we don't really know at this point. Why does it matter what the nearest big city is? We're just kind of, you know, right now we just know that she was shot at mile marker 96. Yep. Right. Yeah, we went through all that, Laura, earlier. Well, we don't know what the kid said. That's one of the problems, is we don't know what the kid said. But here is Ryan's Facebook page from a year ago. This is, yeah, a long time ago, really. Let's see what the wife's page, she's right here. Now her page is a remembering page. Okay, that's pretty funny there. I don't mean to. Wow, a pig with a. That's pretty funny. So she posted this on December 9th. If you want to feed the homeless, then feed the homeless. But the moment you post it on social media, you're also feeding your ego. 100%. Yep, you gotta admit. Just feed the homeless. Now, I hope you guys don't feel the same when on the air, we donate to charity. I just do that so that you guys can see that what we're doing, right? Like, hey, you know, some of the donation money's going to that. So I don't feel like that's the same thing. If you feel like it's the same thing, let me know, and then I can just do it off the side and not tell anybody. But the thing is I want you to see it, because a lot of people will go, well, I never saw it happen. Well, that way you're at least seeing it. Okay, there you go. All right. Yeah, this could also just be some random killing, you know, and those are the ones that you just can't find the answer to. And, you know, maybe the kids are talking about, hey, we were just driving along and then a bullet came through and hit her, and that's it. All right, here's another Lynn G link. Again, from the 19th, there doesn't seem to be anything new.
Developing this midday, authorities in Missouri are investigating the death of Melissa Peskey as a homicide. KELOLAND's Angela Kennedy broke this story last night on KELOLAND News at 5. This midday, she joins us with new information. Angela?
Well, Brady, Melissa Peskey, who was a Sioux Falls realtor, was found dead in her car Thursday night along the interstate near Boonville.
Well, the thing that I put, Dave, in the description was just I copied it and put it's a quote, okay? So whether or not that was accurate or not, that was just that first article.
Missouri, that's between Kansas City and St. Louis. An autopsy revealed she died from a gunshot wound. Investigators say a weapon was fired from outside of the vehicle. The Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office is helping with the investigation. Her husband, Ryan, told me that Melissa and her 2 children were on their way to North Carolina when she was killed. Her 2 children are currently in foster care in Missouri. When I spoke.
Wait, hold on a second. I'll go back and play this, but Dave, you're not reading it right. That's the problem. All right, you didn't read it right. Okay, so here's what it says. This is what my description says. Melissa Peskey and her 2 children, 5-year-old Axton and 11-year-old Charlee, were in a car crash in Missouri sometime between Thursday night and early last Friday morning. But now we know that that was actually 10:30 at night when the police were there on Thursday, so this was early on in the story. Then the next part says, over a week ago, someone shot and killed Melissa Peskey in front of her children. Investigators say she was in the driver's seat and the shooter was outside the vehicle, which was also involved in a crash. So all that's saying is that the vehicle was involved in a crash. Okay, that just means it crashed into something. All right, there's nothing in that's what you just said above. They're never mentioned 2 vehicles or anything like that. It's just the way you interpreted it in your head. Okay, so let's watch this again.
The death of Melissa Peskey as a homicide. KELOLAND's Angela Kennedy broke this story last night on KELOLAND News at 5. This midday, she joins us with new information. Angela?
Well, Brady, Melissa Peskey, who was a Sioux Falls realtor, was found dead in her car Thursday night along the interstate near Boonville, Missouri. That's between Kansas City and St. Louis. An autopsy revealed she died from a gunshot wound. Investigators say a weapon was fired from outside of the vehicle. The Minnehaha County Sheriff's Office is helping with the investigation. Her husband, Ryan, told me that Melissa and her 2 children were on their way to North Carolina when she was killed. Her 2 children are currently in foster care in Missouri.
Yeah, here's the thing, is I know that the wreck happened in a state where the parents didn't live, but I think it's highly unusual, even in that situation, where you don't get a hold of the actual parent and give them back to that person. So there must be some other information that's making them not want to do that. Because obviously, let me say this. If they really believe that the father did this on purpose, maybe drove up next to the car, had somebody else shoot her, something like that, then that means he was trying to kill those kids too, or had very little regard for the children. Because you're driving, what, 65 miles an hour, maybe 50, 60, whatever, and then you shoot the driver, then you're kind of almost hoping that the car crashes and kills even the kids, or you had very little regard for their safety. No, I think that's their shared children. Where are you getting the... I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Are those her children and they're not his, technically, like blood-wise? Yeah. Right, that's what I'm saying, Vamplifier. That's that whole purpose of what I just brought up. Jesus. Let's see. There could have been another car in the crash. No, well, there could be, but it didn't say that in any of these articles, right? None of the things that we've read said anything about that. So why assume that at all? Like, it's just, that's what we don't do here, is like come up with, oh yeah, well, it could have been this and it could have been that, where there's nothing that words it that way. Now, I don't think it really can be open to interpretation, Dave. The way it's written is, it's just saying that the car, you know, I mean, I guess you can hear it a different way, but it's just, maybe it's not the greatest writing, but it says, investigators say she was in the driver's seat and the shooter was outside the vehicle, which was also involved in a crash. So the shooter was outside the vehicle and the vehicle was involved in a crash. You know, and that was probably, this was one of the first articles, that's why they're off on the time, thinking maybe it went into Friday, and they're just saying the vehicle was involved in a crash. Now, you can throw out a guess and say, oh, the vehicle was involved in a crash, was with another vehicle, but it doesn't say that. It doesn't say the vehicle was involved in a crash with another vehicle and that vehicle isn't around. It doesn't say anything about that at all. It just says it was involved in a crash, meaning it crashed. You know, all you can get from that is that that one vehicle crashed, and that's it. There's no other information in that that can be interpreted as there being another vehicle that it crashed into. Okay, so saying that or guessing that is pure luck if it's right. Because if it crashed into another vehicle, there'd be parts and things that didn't match the vehicle that she was in, right? Then they'd know, oh, another car took off. They didn't say that. Right. That too, Sarah Beth Colagrass. They would say, hey, listen, and they would have already linked the parts that were found in a little crash to another type of vehicle. Yeah, they're not saying much, but they're pretty sure that they did not mention in any of these articles, all the ones that we looked at, all the videos, that there was another car that it crashed into. All they know is that the bullet came from outside the vehicle. That's it. Okay? So all the rest of it's just pure speculation. Right, or maybe there'd be a little bit of glass. I mean, listen, if you get in a wreck going 60 miles an hour, which that's a freeway there, you know, you're not going to just barely have a fender bender, right? It's going to be, you're going to crash into something and there'll be some damage to the car. That's why I think it's more likely that she got shot in the head and then just sort of drifted over to the side, and then the car slowly kind of just stopped and kind of crashed into the side, you know, into the bank over there. That's it. That's what it sounds like to me. Yeah, that's definitely, we need to know that. I think it's weird that we're actually kind of coming into the story a little bit late, really. And I haven't really heard anybody else cover it at this point on social media. But there's literally no information after about 4 days ago. It's just sort of it's dead quiet. And this might be one of those situations, had the media picked up on the case and made a bigger deal out of it, like they do with all the other ones, the Kelsey Barrett, everything else, then they might have had press conferences and updates. People could ask questions, but nobody's saying anything. It just sort of disappeared. No, the husband hasn't been confirmed anywhere that we know of. All we know is that he didn't answer a phone call shortly after they came upon the scene. And that was suspicious. That's what he's claiming, the husband. He's claiming that because he didn't answer that phone, he's a person of interest. But there might be a lot more to it than that. It's actually kind of strange that he's admitting that he's a person of interest. He's almost trying to tell people, yeah, I'm a person of interest, but the real reason is that I just didn't answer the phone. Phoebe Beach said the funeral is December 30th. I mean, what a shitty Christmas for her family. What about Boonville, Rachel? What about it? Right, that's exactly right. He's already spinning a story. Right, but he's like, well, I'm a person of interest, but it's really just because I didn't answer the phone, but he's because I was asleep. Well, really? Your family's out of town on a long trip and you're not going to have your phone right there ready to answer all the time? I doubt it. Yeah.
When I spoke with Ryan yesterday over the phone, he says he is a person of interest because he didn't pick up the phone right away when authorities called. He also told us authorities in Missouri put the children in protective care because they do not have family in Missouri.
So
we
what?
reached out to Missouri's Department of Social Services.
Why don't you go there then? I mean, see, something's not making sense here. He's the father, right? So let's listen to that again.
Family in Missouri. We reached out to Missouri.
It says children aren't being released because they don't have family in Missouri. What does that have to do with anything? Right? Like if he just showed up there and said, hey, I'm the father, look, here's the ID, he should be able to get them, right? So now this seems like another excuse too, right here.
Missouri's Department of Social Services. They couldn't talk specifically
Right
about
there.
this case
Aha!
because
Look at that. I didn't even see that part. Look at this part right here. Department of Social Services. Under normal, quote, normal circumstances, children would be given to surviving parent. Hadn't even seen that part yet because it was covered up by that ad. But there it is. Okay, so something's not adding up here. Something's rotten in Denmark. All right. There's no orange kangaroos in Denmark. Yeah. Well, I think in this case, I think they really think. Well, here's the thing about Patrick Frazee is that he had the child already, and the child didn't appear to be in immediate danger. Right? Now, in this case, the person who shot through the window, or, from out, let's just say this. The person who shot this lady from outside the vehicle didn't care if one of the children got hurt. And if the police believe that the husband is responsible for that, even suspicious of it, they are not going to release those kids back to a parent who had so little regard for their well-being. And that's my, that's my opinion right now. Yeah, maybe. I don't have any records on him at all. If you guys have access to records and things like that, go ahead and check it out. Oh, no problem, big dude. Yeah, it's just there really isn't a lot to catch up on. I can actually explain it to you pretty quickly right here. The mother, in this case, let me get the specific names and everything. Trying to find my folder. Yeah, Melissa Peskey. So Melissa Peskey was heading from Sioux Falls to, was it north? I think north. I think it was North Carolina, even, wasn't it? And while she was driving through Missouri, she let me get the specific location here. She was driving near Boonsville, right there. On I-70, we kind of kept narrowing it down. Then we got to mile 96. And while driving at night, a bullet hit her from outside the vehicle, and her 11-year-old and 5-year-old child were still in the vehicle. And the car itself was also involved in a crash. Now, I think the gunshot itself is why the car crashed. She was shot and then lost control, and the car crashed. The kids lived. Now, the father, who was in the military, and I guess just in November got back from being in the military, he was called right after the police showed up at 10:30 at the car. So they showed up at 10:30 right here on this mile marker, apparently right in the same area, maybe not right on the mile marker, but near it. And this is like a side road, so she was actually would be on this one over here. This is so this is I-70. And the police came by at around 10:30, found the scene, and then they called the father, and he never answered the phone. So he claims that and says that's why they're suspicious of him. But then also the kids are in foster care in that state. And if, as you just saw, they said it was an unusual circumstance, and normally the children are given back to the parents. Well, what does that imply to you then? It means that the father is the unusual circumstance. That's the reason they're not being given back to him, is because he is the unusual circumstance. Okay? So that's kind of where, that's the whole story right there in a nutshell. It's pretty, it's weird. Yeah. Yeah, maybe the father was busy with an alien as well, Pecan Baby. We just don't know at this point. You know, it could have been a Gray from Zeta Minor, or maybe even a reptilian. Yeah. I guess we don't actually know the reality of her trip that she was on, the reason for it. We hear maybe what the husband said. I mean, I'd like to hear some of what her friends say of why she was on that trip. Yeah. Well, it kind of makes sense, though, too, Big Dude, because what if in the... and yes, his name is Big Dude. I'm not looking at a picture of him and calling him Big Dude, all right? Like, what's the name of that one person in here the other day? It's like they're like dissing themselves, and I have to say it out loud, like I'm being mean. Okay, look at that. Like, the Department of Social Services isn't going to say right here, because of the father's behavior, the children were, I mean, normally, like, they're not going to say this. Normally, children are given to their biological parent. However, because the father is being looked into as a suspect, we are not able to give the children to him at this time. That's right, Tara the Tard. Okay, that's actually a YouTube username. Thank you, Kelly Gibson. So every time I say, hey, Tara the Tard, people probably just listening without looking at the chat probably think, God, Gray, that's so mean. You're so mean, Gray. That's right. Yeah, a couple of other articles also said single car crash. But yeah, let's go through this one. So this one's on the 21st. You know what? I actually need I need another drink of water. Hold on a second. So you guys don't have that one, right? Look at We Are Freaks, because that's this channel, all right? A former Chatsworth woman who was shot and killed recently is being remembered as a kind individual who cared deeply for others, especially her children. Melissa Ann Rankin Peskey, a 40-year-old rural Hartford, South Dakota woman, was found dead on Thursday, December 13th, on Interstate 70 in central Missouri. I mean, she was so far away from her home. Let's do this. So she's from... I could probably look her up too, but maybe I'll do that tomorrow or something. So she lives in this really tiny little town right here. Wow. Okay, so this is just kind of a random straight shot estimate here. Okay, as a crow flies, it's about 380 miles-ish, you know, but with the turns and everything, I'm going to say 500 miles to there. Okay, because you got to go down this way, and then, you know, it's not straight, and then cut across. So it's, you know, 450 to 500 miles right there. What's in that link there, Doreen? Anything new? Anything new in that one, Doreen? Because I want to keep going through this one. Melissa was the mother of an 11-year-old daughter named Charlee and a 5-year-old son named Axton. They had been traveling to South Carolina, not North Carolina, as I thought earlier, but South Carolina to visit friends. Barr said Melissa became involved with the, you know, I was hopefully, it would have been weird if they said they were on their way to Lumberton, though, wouldn't it? Even though that's in North Carolina. But Barr said Melissa became involved with the Children's Miracle Network Hospital because of Charlee, who was born prematurely. That's right. In 2014, that was in one of the articles. They've been on the news before for their children being born prematurely, and, well, maybe just one of them, but they were on the news. At about 10:30 p.m., December 13th, troopers responded to a traffic crash on I-70 just west of Boonville, Missouri, and discovered Melissa deceased in the driver's seat of an SUV. Patrol Sergeant Scott White said Melissa had been traveling east. Yep, that's exactly what we were talking about. We figured that out. On the interstate with Charlee and Axton when her Ford Flex crashed. Now, I'm kind of thinking that Charlee and Ashton were in the back seat. Don't you think? Let me put their names in there. Axton. Although, I guess if you're gonna, you wouldn't care if you're the father, if you were already that reckless that you might kill your kids. You might not care if one of them was sitting in the front seat. It was reported as a single vehicle crash. Hey, thanks, Cindy Jacobs. Must be through Streamlabs. Yeah. Look, if you're gonna...
You're the best, Gray. Love your channel.
Thank you. Yeah, look, if you're gonna post links, tell me why you're posting it. Okay, because it's just like these rapid-fire links. It's hard to just pick one. I got to keep going through this one. It was reported as a single vehicle crash, White said. It was obvious the vehicle had been in a crash. Okay, yeah. However, as the patrol's investigation developed, it became apparent to law enforcement that Peskey had not died as a result of the crash. Preliminary results of the investigation at the scene and an autopsy performed, showed that she was fired from outside the vehicle. I mean, there was a gunshot fired outside. Indicated that she died of a gunshot wound caused by a weapon fired from outside the vehicle. White would not say when the gunshot occurred, whether it was fired before or after the SUV crashed, because of the ongoing investigation. We're not going to discuss the sequence of events, he said. Our major crash investigation unit was initially called to that scene, they're reconstructing the scene. White said the patrol has not released a standard report on the crash due to the suspicious circumstances surrounding Melissa's death. Typically, we would put Typically, we would put an online report out. He said it's a little unusual. A lot of unusual stuff so far that we keep saying that too out loud. This is an unusual case, and then even the child. Like, what was the name of that agency? Well, anyways, like CPS basically said it's unusual circumstances. So they must have some pretty good information going on here. White said Melissa's children were in the vehicle when the crash occurred and they were not injured. So it doesn't seem like it was a really violent, vicious crash, just that it crashed, right? They are back home at their rural Hartford acreage with their father, Ryan. When did this happen? So maybe those other articles were before this. So is he back? Are they back with him now then? Ryan, a licensed massage therapist and South Dakota National Guard member. Ryan, who could not be reached for comment, told KELO Land TV in Sioux Falls, South Dakota earlier this week that law enforcement has considered him a person of interest in the investigation because he was asleep and did not answer his phone when the patrol called him at about 11 p.m. Friday, December 14th. Okay, Ryan goes to court. All right. What's he going to court for, Lynn? Okay, but right there it said the kids were back with him already. So is this article wrong? Or what? Right, but this article, did you hear what I was saying, Lynn? This article says he already has his children. I don't get what you guys are not listening to what I'm saying here. The article I'm reading says that Ryan has custody, that the kids are at his house. Okay? So I don't know if they took them away from him after this, but it's saying that he has them. White could not confirm the information that Ryan told. Let's see, right here it says, because he was asleep. We already heard that part, because he's saying that he's a suspect because he didn't answer when the police called him at 11 p.m. So 30 minutes after they arrived on the scene, they tried calling him. But see, now they say Friday, right? But the other article said the wreck was 10:30 at night on Thursday. So this, things aren't working out right. It seems like nobody has the correct answers. You see what I'm saying? Because the other articles have all said that Thursday at 10:30 the police went to the vehicle. And then was he literally called 24 hours later? Or is this an error, and this should say Thursday, that he was called at 11 p.m. And it also says the 14th. Because if he didn't answer his phone 24 hours later, who cares? That doesn't mean much. That just means he didn't answer his phone, right? But if he didn't answer 30 minutes after this happened and his phone was off, that would have a lot more significance. So we're back to the confusion shit show that we get a lot of times in these cases. Let me get that link that was up there. Investigators suspect foul play involved. Yeah, I think that's pretty obvious. Okay. The couple's 2 children are in foster care in Missouri, but when was this article? That's the 23rd, so that's more recent. Ryan says he will go before a judge Wednesday to ask to bring them home. God, I gotta tell you right now, I'm totally confused. Okay? I mean, Lynn's like, yeah, get them home. They get them home. But the thing is we don't have a clue right now, right? Because that other article just said that he was taking care of the kids are with him already. So why would he need to go in front of a judge to get them back? Do you get what I'm saying? Yeah, this is why I can't stand. It's just such crappy, shitty reporting. You know, so far, the first article talked about how, let's see, it was either between 10:30 at night and in the morning on Friday. Well, no, the police were there at 10:30 on Thursday, so we know for sure it was on Thursday or before, right? There's no Friday involved. And then one article says, he's got the kids at his house, but then the next one says, he's got to go in front of a court on Wednesday. I kind of believe that one. I think that other article a minute ago that said that Ryan has the kids at his house is bogus. Because we also saw the comment by, the CPS-like organization, right? Well, I'm gonna make a, like in the Molly Tibbetts case, we had the red shirt, right? Let's just say this: he did not have custody of his kids. He had the CPS organization said that they had them because of unusual circumstances. Then we just saw the article saying he has to go in front of a judge on Wednesday to try to get them back. I think that proves, that's tomorrow, that proves that he doesn't have them. Okay? I think that's just shitty reporting in that one article. Okay? Now you got that right. I have a hard time reading them. I'm actually, sometimes that's just me with really poor vision, but a lot of times they just absolutely put the wrong words in there and the wrong tense, the wrong everything. Articles. Oh, hey, watcher, go to sleep, man. Or I know you're a lady, so go to sleep. Go to sleep. I appreciate you being here, though, but come on. 5 hours. Yeah. We were reading a Daily Mail article a while ago, and I don't even know if the person who wrote the article that was English spoke English. I mean, it was absolutely the worst. I don't know if you guys remember that night, but it was every other paragraph was written by somebody who literally had no clue of the structure of English. It was incredible. No, I don't think he got them at all yet. I'm just going to assume that they didn't get them. Just a second. Hold on a second. I gotta say goodnight to my wife. Gotta figure out how to do this. All right, there you go. All right, see you guys. Yeah, I had to say goodnight to my wife. She doesn't like, she didn't know that I had a camera on the screen. So I was trying to wave her. She doesn't want to be on the screen quite yet. One of these days, though. One of these days. She's nervous, just like you guys who won't call in when we have call-in nights. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. She's going to bed. Yeah, Jim gets nervous, man, but he's always fun to have call in. Jim Nothing. See, I've learned how to say that now. There's two of me. Oh. You mean having a wife, you mean? Yeah. She's the one that does all the... You think a guy could put a Christmas tree up like that behind me? No way, man. It would have, like, Coors Light cans sticking all over it, okay? Up, here comes the conspiracy theories. The I-70 shooters. Oh, wow. Really? Another name that said Texas Girl? That's kind of weird. Yeah. It's always something. But let's just wait for more information to come out that law enforcement puts out before we start. I mean, sure, it could be one of those random shooter types, and that's where you never catch anybody. Because anybody could sit down with a sniper rifle in a field out there and just take a shot, kill somebody, and they disappear in the middle of nowhere. Nobody ever finds them. Now, if they start coming forward saying we've linked this bullet to other shootings on I-70 over the years, then you might be onto something. But I think that, you know, I don't know if maybe Ryan, this Ryan character, got a hold of, you know, maybe he got his kids for a couple of the days in between, and then they were taken away from him again. I don't know, but it does sound like he has to go to a hearing to get his children, so I would think that he hasn't had them this whole time. But then, if police have the kids, and they have information on them, why would there even be a hearing at all? It's like, what if he gets them back somehow in the hearing? Right. Yeah. No, he shot the car. If he shot them, Miss Justice, then it would have been when the car was moving. Maybe he thought something would happen to him, or he just didn't think that they would see him because he was driving in a car next to him, and just out of nowhere, you know, a lot of times kids are sleeping at 11 o'clock, even when, you know, you're in a long drive. An 11-year-old and a 5-year-old might be sleeping because they're pretty hyper all day, right? So they, you know, they're in the car, they're probably in the back seat sleeping, and then boom, then the car, she gets shot, and then the car crashes, and then they're in the car. Yeah, Lionel's just goofing around about how there's two people with the same names. What does that mean, Lionel? Keep saying he like husband is guilty. You sound like one of the people that write these articles. You know, it's you need a little clearer sentences, that kind of thing. We might be able to figure out what you're saying. Keep saying he like husband is guilty. Oh, there's 2 children there, big dude. 11 and 5. But yeah, it's crazy. The 11-year-old, I would think, would be really aware of what even a 5-year-old, but an 11-year-old, you're pretty well, your brain's working pretty good at that point. There you go, Ryan. Dave Ryan, he got it. Yes, Patrick Frazie's hitman, the infamous hitman who's all over the place. He also pulled this one off as well. Yeah. Alright, well anyways, I think this is going to be it for tonight, but let's try to dig into this. If you guys find new information, send it to me. But they are doing the court hearing tomorrow, so maybe we'll get some new news tomorrow. I think if he doesn't get his children, there's something up, right? If he gets his children, then, weird, right? And everybody, Christmas is over, but I hope you all had a Merry Christmas, and I'll just still say Merry Christmas, and but I thought I'd bust out just a normal show at the late hours of Christmas. All right, so hopefully we can get some extra information tomorrow that adds a little bit more clarity, but I'm not hopeful because it sounds like they're really not giving any information out at all because the media isn't pressuring them to do so, right? Nobody's even talking about it. It's crazy. All right, so where are we going to do the flyby to? Nah, not the North Pole. Nope, doesn't exist. There's no Santa's castle, whatever the hell you want to call it. I've done Dubai before. Okay, I'll do Tuscany's kind of a different one. Let's do that one. This one? Looked like there was one in the United States too. Okay. I usually end up in the middle of the ocean anyways. I'll start here and then just take off in the middle of the ocean. I always like looking at those random atolls in the middle of the ocean. It's just crazy that there's people living there. And that actually they were found at some point. Let me get the full screen here. Look at Francine's dancing bees or whatever those are. Whoa! Whoa! What happened? I fixed it! Yay! All right. Thank you, everybody, for showing up. Also, thank you for the super chats from Samantha, Cindy Jacobs, Kit Kat. I mean, it just goes on and on. Oh, and it looks like Lisa Burwell just donated $10. Thank you. And then on, I think there was some that came in on...
Hi.
Hi. And then Jennifer on PayPal. Thank you very much. Let's see if there was another one too. Oh yeah, there was also yeah, Cynthia Jacobs also today. So thank you on PayPal. Anyways, everybody, I really appreciate you showing up. I know it was kind of a later show than normal, but hopefully we get some clear information. But right now, all of you have in your head where the incident took place, where they were going from, where they were going, and that it appears that the husband is a person of interest. And let's see if we can put more pieces together in the future. All right, everybody. That's the show for tonight. And until next time, be safe out there. Oh, and thank you, Dave Ryan, at the last second. All right, bye.